Okay, I'm not sure you have heard yet that a tweet came out last night. This tweet here came out last night about midnight, Eastern time, that Tesla or Elon Musk have decided not to pursue taking Tesla private and decided to have Tesla stay public. So what does that mean? For the stock price on Monday when it opened? And you could go on any social media right now and you probably see there's a lot of debate and a lot of fanboys and haters talking about good and bad and how the price is going to drop and so forth and so forth. So we're going to take a look at the stock price and some of the recent trade that I took, and also the latest trade that I put on. That's before the news came out, and and I'd also like to hear what you think. The stock price will do in the coming week. So let me know what your thought on the comment below. Let's go and take a look at the chart and see what are some of the possibility. If you've been following me, this chart probably look pretty familiar to you. I left all the annotation on the screen here on this chart here, so it might look a little bit busy, but if you like, you could also pause the video and redo the annotation and kind of give you a little bit of a history of some of the trade setup or recent trade setup that I was highlighting. But in any case, let me briefly go back in time a little bit and go through the brief history of these trade setup, or some of the price action and my thought process behind them, and then we'll go to the most recent trade setup that I'm looking at, and then we go from there. Okay, so let's go back and go back here. Let me do this. So essentially, after the close of this day, Tesla reported earning, and the following day it popped up, and then the price move up. And as you can see, also I have a trend line coming down. Okay, I have a trend line coming down, and what I said here is after the post earning, looking at the price moving up, and I'm looking for a pullback after it broke through this trend line here. I'm essentially looking for a pullback to back test this trend line. And then I also said, essentially if the price pull back to this value area, then I'd be looking at, looking for a possible long setup to go long. So you can see that let me see, where am I? Okay, sometimes I get lost on the pointer here. So as you can see, the price pulled up and it came back down, back test the trend line. And here it moved into this value area, right? Okay. Then now it come back out above the trend line, right? So here's the thought, right, behind this. Why am I looking for a long setup? See, we know it's booked to the trend line here, and it come down and back test the trend line, get back into this value area. If it get rejected, in other words, it get rejected and pushes back out away from this value area. Okay, the value area essentially is a area that consider price to be fair. Right? So if it get rejected and push out and get back above this trend line, right, get back above this trend line here, then it is telling me that this value area is no longer considered to be fair value, and it is trying to move up to seek higher value, to basically move to a higher price level, to a different price level, to reestablish what is considered to be fair now. Because there are some news that came out recently, and that is the earning. So that changes the or sort of initiates some reassessment of new value. Right? I mean, that could be one of the reason why price is moving away from the established value area here that I'm looking at. Okay, right? So that's why I was looking to for a long setup. And if you could see here, I actually print out a inside bar here, right? Okay, so I got an inside candle here, and essentially what I'm looking at is for a break above this high, this candle high, and we'll go into a long. So I put in a buy stop, couple penny above this high. Now, yeah, there's different way of playing inside bar breakout. There's people, you know, essentially want to go and play a break above this candle. So there's different way to play it, and it's all depend, you know, your setup, and also there's a little bit of a trend line break here too. So it's not only just the, you know, inside candle breakout. I play it either way if I'm playing the inside bar type of stuff. So it's all depend. Again, you know, we sort back to the price action, you know, and the catalyst behind that price action, right? So basically got a buy stop up above here, and then it triggered and got me in. Then all of a sudden I noticed the prices start moving quite rapidly upward. I said, hey, what's going on, right? Then what I discovered was there was a news announcement that just came out, stating that Saudi Arabia sovereign fund have acquired 3 to 5% of Tesla stock. Right, so that kind of sent the price moving. Now I don't know, is that the news that pushing the price up to trigger my buy stop, or something else? But it doesn't matter. Right? Now again, I always said that, you know, someone always knows something before anyone. Right? Okay, but regardless, then shortly after, Elon Musk's tweet came out and saying that he is considering taking Tesla private at $420 a share, and that really got the price moving. Then immediately he followed with another tweet to say funding secure. Then obviously that drove the price crazy, right? And everybody's just chasing that up to, you know, thinking that it's going to go to 420 because, you know, Elon Musk got you know, got funding for, you know, to take Tesla at 420, and who knows, it might be even higher. You know, some other bidder might come in. So you got price that you know, came up to a high of somewhere around 190, 187, I believe. You know, that was a high, 187 and change, before it started coming back down, right? Then the following day, you know, a little bit of reasoning came in. You know, people was a little bit skeptical about the ability that you know, Elon actually got the funding to take Tesla private at $420 a share. I mean, that's valuing the company over $70 billion, and the company are losing money, you know, and it's burning cash like hell. So how could that be, right? So and there's no real formal announcement from the company to saying that it has received a proposal, you know, from somebody, or from Elon or whoever, of you know, taking the company private at $420 a share. So as time goes on, you know, the market kind of reassess and start pulling back down, and notice that the volume here is building up, right? There's a lot of trading going on here. You know, we got a high volume zone here. Okay, I also got a, you know, I essentially also put in a market profile, composite market profile, to see where the volume been concentrating on these, you know, this price level here, this price swing here, right? So right now you see here, right? You see here the you know, a lot of volume been concentrating here. So it seems to be you know, rebalancing here, right? And it coincides with the news, right, where the Elon tweet came out, and also the announcement of the Saudi Arabia sovereign fund position. Okay, so there's a lot of trading going on over here, and took a couple days, and you know, things start settling in, and doubt is becoming more and more stronger, to thinking that Elon really doesn't have the funding secure to take Tesla private. Okay, so but the thing is, in regardless what the news flow is, but you see the price action here, I put out saying a bear flag, right? It's basically forming a bear flag here, and with a break it, then we get a major move down here. Okay, so you can see that the bear flag did materialize, and it broke, and it came down to the major move, And again, it came down below, right? Below this, this price level, this announcement level now, okay? And again, we see some trading volume over here. And so it's kind of consolidating a little bit. And lo and behold, it looked like another bear flag, right? So I put out another tweet to say, hey, and post this chart to say, watch this bear flag break. And if break, here's the major move. Somewhere around down here, 316, 317 area. But news came out after the close, and overnight market already took the stock down, and pre-market took it, continued to take it down. And on the open, right, that they opened, it opened, basically down here, right. So pre-market is already taking it down. So unless you got in before the close, right, then basically chasing it down, or I wouldn't be chasing it down. So but the price came down, hit the major move, and then the following day it continued to come down, and broke through this this trading band, and then found a bounce essentially close to this level here, this previous low. Okay, so now then it came in and start this rebound. Okay, right, so it's kind of bouncing back up, and right now it seems to be forming a bull flag. Okay, now before this bull flag form, essentially I was looking at this right here. Okay, and I said, hey, look at this bull flag. So let's let me cover this up so you don't see it. So I said, hey, look at this, it might be a bull flag forming, and if break here, then essentially I'm looking for somewhere around up here for this major move. Okay, so what I did is put out a post and saying this then to be aware of this potential bull flag. Okay, and then again, right, we saw this as time go by, we saw a little bit more consolidation. You see this volume here, right, a little bit more consolidation. You got a high volume zone, right? So essentially you could say this forming this kind of flag, right? But I have a slight upward slanted channel, right? So but it's still a flag, and essentially looking for a break of this flag and move up to this major move. Okay, so now how do I differentiate or tell it's a bull flag, a bear flag? I'm sure you probably aware of how to look at the bull flag and bear flag, but just in case, let me go to on how I tell or differentiate as a bull flag or bear flag. It's primarily based on where is the flagpole, right? Because here's a flagpole, right, and here's a flag. So the flag is waving, in the upright position. That's a bull flag, right? And here's a bear flag. Here's the flagpole, and here's a flag. So the flag is upside down, right? So that's a bear flag, right? That's just a simple way of differentiating, that you're looking at a bear flag or a bull flag. Okay, right. So now let's go back to a daily chart and talk about this trading band here. Okay, this trading band between set 390 and 360 and 295. Right. Okay, this right here we'll call the balance zone. Right, you see that there's a lot of trading, a lot of volume is occurring throughout this area here. So what I mean is essentially, the market view this price range to be a fair value for Tesla. Right, so anytime that it go above this this level here, the market consider that is overvalue, and then seller will sell it down, take profit and sell it back down. And then anytime that it get down below this area here, right, buyer believe this is undervalued, so you got people, the market considers that undervalued, so you have buyers buying it back up. Okay, so it just kind of fluctuate up and down, right? So the key thing here, so when we look at these balance zone, right, is that when prices, when the price move above this balance zone, move away from the balance zone, and it cannot go up and start establishing a new balance zone, right, somewhere else, and if it come down, right, breaks out and then come back into the zone, and the tendency or the probability is that it will retrace back down to the other extreme of the balance zone. And similarly, if it break below this balance zone and unable to reestablish balance at a lower price level, okay, instead it come back in to this balance zone, then there's a high probability that it will retrace back up, right? And that's why you see all these balance, break away from balance, re-enter balance, and then come back down, right, close to the bottom here on this one, break away, right? This one here didn't go all the way, try to break, and then come down, right? So you see a lot of time you see these trading band. So once it break away from these trading band and it is able to re-establish a new area of balance, then there's a valid breakaway. All right, okay. So the reason I want to mention that is essentially this is what drive these trade, right? So if you look at this here, okay, here's this that trading band, right? This area here, okay, right? That's the trading band, and you can see that the price came back into that trading band. See, because right here it broke with that the tweak about taking Tesla private, and then we got the doubt and skepticism that brought the price back in. Okay, so in other words, the market doesn't believe it. Okay, because if the market believe it, it's going to go to 420, then this thing will probably come up to near that 420 and start establishing balance, right? That did not occur, right? So what happened is it came back down into the balance area, right, and tried to break away from it again for a couple of times and failed to do so. So when this thing breaks, there's a good probability that it's going to retrace back down to the other extreme, right? Okay, so and as you can see from the price action, that's exactly what it did. So now it came down here, right, when broke this lower level of this balance zone, and then came back in and unable to get any lower, and then stopped breaking up. And right now you see this right here, essentially, let's say this is the high here, and essentially, well, let me go do this. So here you basically are looking at a higher low, right? So here we got a high here, and then if you take a look at this little zigzag, then you could also say that, hey, it is forming some sort of a higher high, higher low. And now also with the logic behind this balance, trading within the balance zone, right? So what I'm looking at is, since it came out of, went down below this balance zone and come back in, and it held, and now it's moving back up. So what I'm looking at is essentially the possibility for this thing to trade back up to the upper portion of the balance zone. Not saying that it will, but I'm just saying that there's a high probability that it could, right? Okay, so then when I saw this, this bull flag forming, let's cover this up. That did not occur yet. When I tweeted out that, I said I'm looking at this bull flag to break and bring up a major move somewhere up here near this area here, okay, right? So that was basically what I was looking at, right? Then as the time progress, we see that it sort of consolidate a little bit more, right? Consolidating a little bit more here, okay? You see this this high volume area, right? Okay, so there's a lot of trading going on here to establish balance within the balance, right? I mean, so the market is a factor, price action is factor, right? So right now I'm basically looking for this thing to break, and you could say there's a little bit of a channel, ascending channel. So you could say, if it break above the channel, then there could be a possibility of moving up to this upper balance area, and the major move will be somewhere around 351. Now, with that all said, right, with the news that came out on Friday, yesterday midnight, the tweak about keeping Tesla public, that $420 is no longer in play, right? Okay, so don't know what's going to happen. It could easily break below this zone and drop below this area, this zone here, and try to reestablish balance, lower level, right? Or it could just continue to balance here until they could reassess the news a little bit more, or what that means, and then maybe it will go back up and trade back up. Because again, we have to take a look back here, okay, back here before, right, before this right here, okay. This is all driven by, earning here. The prospect of, hey, maybe Tesla be able to get their manufacturing capability in line and be able to, consistently produce, 5,000 or 6,000, whatever that the goal that Elon put on the production level for Model 3, and then maybe they will be able to generate positive cash flow, okay, on the from the Model 3. So this price here is based on that premises, right? And then all of a sudden it kind of got overtook by the news of taking Tesla, private, and $420 a share and that sort of thing. And we don't know how much of these price action here is actually would have been based on just the prospect of Tesla being able to become profitable. Now, of course, there's a lot of short seller that is betting that Tesla will never become profitable; it will go bankrupt, right? But that's a different debate. Right? I don't get into that kind of debate. I'm basically just looking at price action, right? So you say, well, hey, you're in a heap of trouble. You got a long position on that. I do have a long position on this. Okay, I took a long position before the news came out. Here's what I did. Okay, let me tell you what I did. Right? Okay, this little pointer is always a little too small for me to see where the heck is it. If I change different color, it probably doesn't help either. So, when I tweet about this, okay, about this bull flag, I said I'm long via some option put spread by shorting some put spread. So essentially what I did is I sold some put spread here, which is a weekly put spread, right? And it expired yesterday, this Friday, right? So what I did is I sold some put spread, and I covered it yesterday for 10 cents. Right? I sold it for I think somewhere around 115. So I got a credit of 115, and I could have waited and let it expire worthless, but I didn't want to waste my time, watching that and make sure that it doesn't, some news come out and start pushing the stock down, and then I have to go and scramble and try to cover what would be, it's a profitable trade. Okay, so that's how I limit the risk, right? Because you never know, right? With a stock in play, okay, it could easily open down, right? Okay, so I got to put spread on there to define my risk on what I'm willing to lose 100%. Now, understand, I'm not promoting the concept of trading option. That's only for me personally, what I did. Okay, understand the risk associated with trading option. It's a very high risk, and you could lose everything, on your position on option. Because, all right. So make sure that you understand the risk of option and trade at your own discretion. Okay, so here is what I did is basically sold the put spread, and then I covered it, right, at so now on this bull flag here, okay, what I did is, again, because this stock is in play, right, that was before the news came out last night at midnight. and still in play. And like I said, the stock is in play until it's no longer in play. So whenever a stock is in play, you always run into the risk, especially if you are doing swing trading or carrying any equity, any stuff overnight. You always risk that possibility of a gap up or gap down. So depending on the news flow and that sort of thing, right? So you can't avoid that. There's always that uncertainties, and that's why I don't want to carry the equity and have it gap down 20-30 point overnight on me, right? Then because the risk, well, the maximum risk is 0, okay, right, essentially. But also, if it gap up, the upside limit is is unlimited, right? I mean, that's what they said, there is a limit, right? Okay, so but theoretically it's unlimited, right? So when you do these swing trade, you have to take the good along with the bad, because sometimes you hold a position overnight, something happened that caused the price to gap up by 10 or 20 point or something like that, or whatever amount of percentage, okay, then all of a sudden you got this windfall, right? But then also there are times that the stock gap down, and then all of a sudden you're in a hole, right? Down maybe 5-10% or whatever, okay, on that position. So that's the risk that as a swing trader takes. It's that overnight risk, okay? So if you can't tolerate those kind of risks, then don't trade those things, right? Or the way that I do it is basically define my risk and use the option, okay? And when I define those type of risks and trade those options, I set up this position size in which that I'm willing to lose 100% of that money, because that's a possibility, and it could be a possibility when Monday open on Tesla, and if it's down like 50-70 point, okay, or something like that, I mean, my option basically be pretty much worthless, okay? So what I did is I have a out of the money call, a weekly out of the money call for the coming week, okay, betting on the stock will come up, right, and at least get up to this level here, okay? Now, will that happen now? Who knows, right? It might fall, it might just continue to go up, So tell me what you think. I mean, that's what I got. Let me know what you think. What you think will happen to Tesla in the coming week. Would it go down, go up? Feel free and post it on the comment below, and let me know what you think, okay? So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your trading. Have a great weekend.